We are going to pause the recording. So I am coming to you live from a small town in Michigan. I am currently, like right now, this is my parents' house. We have a house just a few doors down, so we are quarantined together right now. So if you see an old man in a bright colored shirt walking behind me making faces, my dad thinks that's hilarious. So we may all be in for a treat today. But good morning. Good morning to all of you who are watching this with us currently, and to all of you who have chosen to watch this at a later date. I so appreciate you tuning in for our beginner yoga class on this incredibly beautiful, cold, but at least it's sunny out, beautiful morning. My name is Bryn Borick. I am a spin instructor and a yoga instructor at the YMCA. If you have not taken the opportunity to go to our Crown Point YMCA page, see our YMCA, and click on the virtual classes, and you can, the virtual membership, and check out all of our classes. We have a whole bunch to choose from. So there's other yoga classes, there's a whole bunch of classes to choose from. We're so grateful that you guys are taking advantage of the opportunity to stay connected with us while we are apart. So thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being a part of this. And we are going to get started. So before we start in our beginner yoga class today, if you have props, if you have a yoga bolster, great, pull it out. If not, no worries. We are going to be, I'm using just a regular old exercise mat on the floor today. And instead of using a yoga bolster, because I don't have one up here, I'm just going to use, these are just couch cushions, you know, like throw pillows from the couch. So when I stretch out into my Shavasana, that's what I will be using under my knees to provide support to take the tension off my low back. So we are going to start our practice today in Shavasana. So stretching out long on your mat, you can take a rolled up towel or a rolled up blanket and put it beneath your neck to create a neck support. You can use the same, you know, you can use rolled up blankets or pillows or whatever just to take the pressure off your low back. So we're going to stretch out long, creating support under the knees and creating support under the neck. If it feels better for you to just stretch out flat without any support, then that's what you should do. Whatever is going to make you the most comfortable today. Oh, and we might just stay right here today, right? In Shavasana? No, we probably won't. So as you surrender the weight of your body over to the floor, over to the mat, over to the earth beneath you, taking your awareness to your toes and your ankles, and letting your feet fall away from each other. So releasing from the ankles and the knees and the hips so that you feel the distance between your toes. Relaxing the belly, making no efforts to suck it in, making no efforts to pull that navel in towards the spine. Rolling the shoulders back and down, just bringing the shoulder blades together just a little bit to create space across the chest, a widening across the heart center, and allowing your palms to rotate up. We're going to drop our chin just slightly towards our chest to create a long, flat, neutral spine. And if you're comfortable, let the eyes close. If you feel like you're fighting it, or if you feel like your eyes keep popping open while they're closed, then just soften your gaze, taking in as little light as possible for the next few minutes. Dropping your lower jaw to create space between the teeth. And relaxing the forehead. I feel like we're all carrying so much tension in our jaw and our forehead these days because we all have that like, what the heck look on our face all the time because there's so much weird stuff going on. So making an effort to soften that jaw and soften your forehead, iron out those wrinkles. Relax your eyebrows. And now, as always, letting your attention and your awareness go to the breath. As you draw the breath in, pulling that breath down past the ribs and into the belly. Feeling the belly rise all the way down into the hip bones. Drawing that breath low and deep into the belly. And then exhale slowly. Let the breath escape you, feeling a hollowness in the belly. Keeping each breath long and smooth and even. Trying not to increase the volume of breath. So we're not overfilling the lungs. We're not overextending the abdomen with breath. We're just simply taking the same volume of breath and slowing down the pace of the inhale and the exhale. Trying to keep your focus primarily on the breath by just saying to yourself, breathing in and breathing out. Giving yourself this space to put the worrying and the planning aside. Letting the stress fall away just for this time to just breathe. Taking just one more breath here. Filling those hip bones with air. And then experiencing the emptiness as you fully exhale. And then let your breathing just return to its normal pace, whatever that is for you. It can be short and shallow up here in the ribs. You can remain long and smooth, whatever is comfortable for you. I will encourage you throughout our practice today to draw that breath into the belly. And now if you're using a bolster or pillow or blanket, anything under the knees, we're just gonna push that off to the side for now so that we can lay flat on our mat. Same thing if you're using a neck support of any type. We're just gonna push that off to the side so that we can lay flat. We can experience the long, even spine for just a breath. And then on our next inhale, we're gonna send those arms up overhead. So your hands may be resting on the floor above your head. If that creates too much compression in your shoulders, take it only to the point where you start to feel the discomfort. And on your inhale, stretching. Fingertips reaching one direction, toes reaching in the other. And on the exhale, relaxing completely. Letting go of all the tension, feeling heavy on your mat. We're gonna do it again. Inhale, good morning stretch. Stretching long like a piece of taffy. Exhale, releasing all the tension. One more time. Inhale. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Oh. Exhale, relaxing completely. Slowly drawing your knees up towards the ceiling, planting your feet firmly on the mat. And on your next exhale, you're going to draw your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms around your knees, and just rocking side to side. Creating that little bit of compression between your belly and your knees. Drawing that breath deep into the belly. Bring your knees to the center. We're going to send our arms out to the side with our palms facing down. So they're going to be about shoulder height, straight out like a T. Palms facing down. And on your next exhale, so drawing in a deep inhale, exhale, lowering your knees towards the left. If you need to bring the floor up to meet your knees, you can take your bolster or your pillow, whatever you're using, and place it underneath the knees. If you feel like your right shoulder is coming up off the mat, inhale, drawing your knees back up towards the center. Exhale, now this time to the right. Again, bringing that floor up to meet your knees if you need it. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, lowering to the left. Trying to keep both shoulders flat on the floor, palms facing down. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. This time staying here, bringing your right arm across the midline of the body to find yourself kind of in, what is that called? The infant, you know what I'm talking about. Taking a breath here, laying on your side. Fetal position, that's what I was looking for, fetal position. When you're ready, we're just gonna stretch out long and roll over onto our belly. Ooh. We're gonna stack one forearm on top of the other, and we're gonna drop our head down into sleeping crocodile for just a few breaths. So letting your forehead come down to rest on your forearms. And drawing it once again, that breath deep into the belly, feeling that compression, feeling your belly pressing into the floor. Lifting that low back with every inhale, sinking deeper into that floor with every exhale. Inhaling and lifting just your head so that you can send your arms back. So your palms are going to be facing in towards the body, and you're going to rest your forehead on the mat. Now, when we draw in our next inhale, we're going to keep our gaze down towards the floor. So looking down just off the tip of your nose. And on the inhale, we're going to lift up the head, the neck, the chest, the legs. Everything will be up off the floor except for your pelvis and your belly. Drawing your breath deep into that belly and trying to hold that locust pose for just 3 breaths. And after that 3rd exhale, releasing all your body parts back to the mat and turning to rest on your left cheek. On your next inhale, returning to that locust pose, drawing the arms back, the legs up, keeping that gaze down towards the end of your mat here, just off the end of your nose. This time holding it for 5 breaths if you can. If you are uncomfortable, then come out of it whenever you feel you need to. And after that 5th exhale, releasing back to the mat, and this time resting on your right cheek. Bringing your hands just under your shoulders and pressing back, we are going to visit child's pose. So we're going to draw our feet and our knees together. Our knees may be just maybe a fist distance apart. So here's my measurement. This is how close I want my legs to be. And as I begin to lower my body down onto my knees, I'm going to send my arms back behind me so that my forehead is going to rest on the mat. Now, if you're a busty person or that's just uncomfortable for you, you can bring your arms up and stack one fist on top of the other and rest your forehead here, especially if you have like blood pressure issues and it's uncomfortable for you to be or unsafe for you to be upside down for too long because all the blood's going to rush to your head in this position. Now in this pose, you're going to be creating quite a bit of compression between the belly and the legs. Deepen that breath to your comfort level to help detox those organs. I don't know about y'all, but my organs could use a little detoxing after this quarantine. Lifting your head and bringing your hands just under your shoulders to press yourself upward. We're going to do thread the needle from child's pose today. So keeping the right hand planted firmly on the mat, we're going to take the left hand and slide it palm facing up between the knee and the left, or the, I'm sorry, the right knee and the right wrist. So your arm's going to come through and you're going to come down and rest as comfortably as you can on your left shoulder. Letting your head find the mat, breathing into that compression. And this right hand stays right here for a foundation. Inhale, pressing with that right hand into the mat, drawing that left hand back. Lifting your gaze to the ceiling, taking a breath here. Exhaling, we're going to switch to the other side. So the left hand is going to be our stability point. The right hand, palm facing up, is going to slide between the left knee and the left wrist. Coming down to rest on the right shoulder. hands on the mat, and on your inhale, lifting your gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, collapsing into that pose, rounding out the spine, kind of like a cat-cow from child's pose. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, reverse that arch. Inhale, looking up. One more time, exhale, reversing that arch. Taking your hands just a few inches out in front of you. Now you'll have your choice. We're either going to curl our toes and press up into down dog, or if that is not for you today, then you're going to outreach your hands a little bit further from this tabletop position, dropping your forehead to your mat, but keeping your hips high for puppy pose. So whichever of those two suits you today, downward dog or puppy pose on your next in-breath. So inhale, curling the toes or dropping the forehead into the pose that suits you today. If you are joining me in downward dog, you can take your feet out just a little bit wider towards the edge of the mat, bending one knee, and then straightening it and bending the other as we walk the dog. Releasing the low back and the hamstrings. We are not holding our breath. And on your next exhale, dropping your knees down to the mat, bringing your toes together, but keeping your knees wide and collapsing back, letting your bottom find your heels, stretching the arms out for fallen lead. Letting your forehead find the mat. If that is, again, uncomfortable, you can stack one fist on top of the other. Letting your forehead rest on your toes. On your next inhale, coming up to tabletop, just loosen things up, and we are going to transition into a seated pose. So sending our legs out in front of us, shaking them out, getting the blood flow going. You may want to reach kind of underneath you and just pull the fatty tissue away from your sit bones so that you can really feel grounded in this seated staff pose. So you really want to feel your sit bones on the floor. And sometimes a little extra tissue can get in the way. After this quarantine, we're all gonna have so much extra tissue that I'm not even gonna be able to say that to people anymore. Sitting up nice and tall, your legs are gonna be active. So sending the legs out, straight out in front of you, toes are gonna be pointing up towards the ceiling. Taking your palms right at about the hips level, fingertips pointing forward. Palms are pressing into the floor, lifting you up just slightly. Tucking your chin towards your chest and separating your opening up your chest, bringing your shoulder blades just a little bit closer together. Drawing that breath deep into the belly as the entire body holds tension in the seated staff pose. Looking down at your legs, you can see that your thighs are engaged and your kneecaps are lifted. Toes stay pointing towards the ceiling. Consciously drawing that breath deep into the belly. One more breath here. Exhale, releasing all of the tension, rounding out the back. Isn't it amazing how much effort it takes to just do what seems like you're just sitting there? But in actuality, so much of your body is working to hold tension in that pose. I think it's just amazing. So shaking out your legs. Inhale, sending the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms facing out, forward fold. letting your hands come to wherever is comfortable for you, so it can be on your toes, at your ankles, at the knees, underneath whatever is comfortable for you, and your knees can be locked out. They can be completely bent, or they can just have a slight bend in them. As we breathe into the seated forward fold, on your next inhale, walking your hands back up. Roll those shoulders back and down a few times, releasing any tension. Good. We're going to plant our hands next to our hips just so that we can kind of scoot our hips forward so that we're no longer sitting all the way forward on our sits bones. We're going to kind of rock back. So we're sitting just behind the sits bones, and we're going to bring our feet up so they are planted on the mat in front of us. So as we transition into this boat pose, we're going to start with our hands up underneath our knees. So you'll see that my hands are just kind of hooked underneath my knee pits. And as I lean back, I'm just going to experiment with this. So everybody may be at a different stage of the boat pose, and it doesn't matter. So it's the best thing about virtual yoga, right? Like if you don't want to be seen, I have no idea what some of you are doing at home, so it doesn't matter. So on your next inhale, exhale, we're just going to start lifting our toes up just to experiment with this balance and deciding if an inch off the ground is where we are today, or if we want to send them out longer or higher. If we want to rock further back and straighten our legs. And if we want to let go and bring our arms out in front, wherever you decide to stay, holding it for just 3 breaths. On that third exhale, drawing your knees in close to the body, wrapping your arms around them, and just rocking side to side, letting your forehead come down and rest on your knees if that's comfortable. Good. Inhale, straightening up through the spine. And on the exhale, you're just going to kind of let your knees fall away from each other into butterfly pose. So the soles of your feet will come together. Your knees will fall out to the side. You may have to walk your feet out just a little bit further if that creates too much compression in the groin, having them drawn in close. Or this is a good place where if you need it, you can take your rolled up blankets or cushions or couch, whatever you got, and place them underneath your knees to create support. Bring the floor up to meet you. Taking your hands and hooking them over the ends of your toes and straightening through that spine. So ducking your chin to your chest just a little bit. Like there's an imaginary rope coming out the top of your head, pulling you up through the crown of your head, creating a straight like an arrow spine. Consciously breathing into your belly. And on your next exhale, you're going to collapse into this. So allowing your spine to round, allowing your chin to fall to your chest, and bending at the elbows. You may even be able to press your elbows just a little bit in to your lower leg here, into kind of like into your calf muscle, creating more of a stretch. If that's not for you, then just collapsing into the pose and enjoying the softening of the spine. Inhale, lifting up. Collectively, we're all going to draw in a very deep inhale, filling the belly with air. Drop your jaw for an open mouth exhale. One more time, drawing in a very deep inhale. Open mouth exhale. Good. Releasing that butterfly pose and just simply coming into easy pose. So whichever, if you want your ankles stacked, great. If you want one ankle in front of the other, it makes no difference, wherever you are comfortable today. And if for whatever reason sitting on the hard floor by now is starting to irritate your hips, you can even take your cushion or your rolled up pillow or your rolled up blanket and just place it underneath your hips. It's just going to provide a little bit of height so that it opens up the hip socket. If sitting flat creates compression or discomfort for you. So from here, we're going to take our left hand, place it on the floor behind us, palm flat, fingertips are pointing out straight behind me. I'm going to take my right hand to my left knee, inhale, straightening through the spine. Exhale, turning from the belly. I'm leading with my belly, following with my shoulders, and finally looking out over my left shoulder. If that creates compression or pain in your neck, then keep your head neutral. Drawing your breath into that twist. On your next exhale, releasing from that twist and coming back to center. Right hand is going to go to the floor behind you, fingertips pointing towards the back. Left hand to the right knee. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, twisting and looking over the right shoulder. Exhale, releasing, coming back to center. Left hand to the floor, fingertips pointing out this time, palm facing down. Inhale, right arm coming up overhead. Exhale, crescent shaped spine to the left. So creating space on the right side body, through the shoulder, through the ribs, through the hips. Sending your breath into that space between your ribs and your hips. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, bringing that right hand down and switching sides. Inhale, left arm coming up overhead, palm facing in. Exhale, crescent shaped spine to the right. Bending the right elbow if you need more of a stretch. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, release. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, release. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, release to the right. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, release. Great job, guys. Shake it out, and when you're ready, we're going to transition up into standing. So, stepping, hopping, crawling, whatever you decide to do to make your way to a standing position. I am going to do the sideways just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But you are going to find your way to the front of your mat. So, this way. We're going to find ourselves in mountain pose. So, rolling the shoulders back and down. This is what I mean by creating space across the chest. So we're so used to standing like this all the time that this becomes kind of our natural posture for the most part. Our hips kind of curl under, our shoulders curl forward, and then our head just either juts out in front. So by rolling the shoulders back and down, it opens across the chest. It also pushes the hips back into alignment. Taking your feet maybe shoulders distance apart. They can even come in closer if you're comfortable with that. Your hands will be driving down the side body, palms facing in, tucking your chin just slightly towards the chest to create a long, neutral spine. And we're just going to begin by rocking forward and back, getting comfortable, getting our weight evenly distributed. And on your next inhale, we're going to bring the arms up overhead for mountain two. Turning the palms to face out. Exhale, forward fold. So letting the arms hang heavy, letting the head hang heavy. Taking your palms to the front of your calves. Inhale, halfway rise, creating a flat back, lifting your gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees just slightly and stepping back with the right foot into a lunge. So dropping your hips so your body is resting on the left knee, straightening the back leg. The right leg should be extended back. If that's too hard, if it's just uncomfortable, you can drop that knee to the floor. And if that's painful on the knee, you can use that blanket or bolster or whatever underneath your knee to cushion it just a little bit. So from our lunge, lifting up into warrior one. So keeping that stability in the front leg, arms either coming straight up overhead, out to the side like goalposts, or even at the heart center. And just taking a few breaths here. Sinking deeper into that lunge if you can. One more breath. Flipping the arms around, coming forward into that lunge, stepping that right foot back to the front, so we find ourselves back in this ragdoll pose. Palms to the shins, inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, forward fold. Bending at the knees, sending the arms out to the side like airplane wings. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Palms coming together and exhale into chair. So dropping your hips back, hands coming to heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Windmill those arms around. Inhale up. Palms facing out. Exhale. Forward fold. We're doing all the same things on the opposite side this time. Taking a breath here. Palms to the front of the shins. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees just slightly so your hands can touch down. Inhale, stepping back with the left leg. Finding yourself once again, kind of in a runner's lunge. Getting your stability, getting your foundation of that right foot planted firmly underneath you. Inhale, lifting up wherever you want your arms to be into warrior one. Exhale, bringing those arms back, or hands back to the mat. Stepping forward, finding yourself back in that ragdoll pose. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, forward fold. Bending at the knees, arms out to the side. Inhale, all the way up, hands coming together. Exhale, into chair. Dropping the hips back, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms coming up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So I'm going to turn sideways on my mat, and I'm just going to take my legs a little bit further than hips distance apart. go ahead and wiggle it out just a little bit, creating a kind of like a wave through the body to release any tension that you're holding from that warrior pose. Don't you feel so powerful in that pose though? There's just something about it. I don't know if it's just like the rising up or the fact that it's kind of hard to stay there or whatever it is, but it just feels so powerful to be in that pose. So rocking forward and back, getting your weight kind of evenly distributed on your feet again. Inhale, arms coming up overhead. Exhale into goddess pose. So bending the knees just slightly, bringing the arms out to the side, kind of like gold pose on the exhale. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhale again. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and hold. 3 to 5 breaths. Intentionally drawing that breath all the way down into the belly. Inhale, lifting up. Turning the palms to face out. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. So hinging from the hips, allowing the hands to travel down between the feet. Releasing any tension from your head and your neck. Taking your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bending at the knees, sending the arms out to the side, reaching all the way up, lifting your gaze to your hands and pressing your hips forward into a little mini back bend. On the exhale. Shifting your weight back, bringing the hands down to heart center. Taking a breath here. Heel toe, walking your feet back in and just releasing any tension. Here we go. We're going to lower ourselves down any way is comfortable for you. Back down onto the mat. We're going to find ourselves stretched out long on the mat for just a breath. And then we're going to draw our heels up close to the bottom, as close to your bottom as possible. So reaching down with your fingers, you should be able to at least brush your heels, bring them in as close to the bottom as possible. Your hands are palms facing down. So we're going to do the bridge kind of like as a flow. So I'll do it once, and so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and then we'll all do it together. So on the inhale, keeping your head straight. So you're not going to want to rotate your head at all when you're in bridge pose because we're shifting our weight up onto like the neck area. So keeping your head, your eyes looking straight up. Inhale, hips come up, arms come up overhead. Exhale, arms come down, hips come down. So it's kind of one fluid movement. You ready? Keeping your head neutral, driving your heels into the floor. Inhale, hips up, arms up. Exhale, arms down, hips down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, release. And now stretching out long on your mat, providing any pillows or cushions or blankets or socks or pillows or cookies or pizza, whatever's going to bring you comfort today in our final Shavasana. So you can roll up a pillow or a blanket or towel to use as a neck support, and providing your knees with a support underneath your knees to take the pressure off your low back. And once again, just returning to that heaviness, experiencing the heaviness throughout the body, allowing your toes to fall away from each other. Softening through the knees and through the hips. Rolling the shoulders back and down, creating that space across the chest. Drop your chin just a little bit towards your chest. Allowing the eyes to close if that's comfortable, or at least softening your gaze. Separating your teeth. Drawing your awareness to your breath. Drawing that breath slowly into your belly. Slow on the exhale. Allowing your body to feel heavier with every exhale as you sink further and further and further into the earth. Trying to control the chitta, or the mental chatter that goes on in your brain, by just repeating to yourself, breathing in, breathing out. And now, just allowing your breathing to return to normal, or not. I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana because it's such an amazing, relaxing place to be. So if you want to stay here for the rest of the day, I doubt that most of us have anything else to do. So I truly appreciate you joining us here for Beginners Yoga on this gorgeous day. I hope that you find love and light during the course of this amazing day. Thank you for being part of us here at the YMCA. Like I said, we are so, so grateful that you have taken the opportunity to stay connected with us, even though we are apart for right now. We truly look forward to being back in the studio with you. And until we share space again, whether it's virtually or in person, namaste. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.